Viewers, here is one more video on small talk. Small talk is the easiest way in which you gain fluency in speaking English. If you are struggling because you are not fluent in speaking, then if you practice small talk, it helps you immensely. I have been posting videos on small talk periodically. You can watch those videos whenever you have free time. Watch the videos fully and practice as I tell you. Today we shall talk about 5 simple phrases which help us to carry on a conversation which is a small talk. I will mention these phrases to you first. I'm not giving you a long list because in a short video that's difficult. I'm just taking 5. If you find it helpful, I'll give you 5 more in the next video if you tell me you want it. Please write your comments, share the videos, like them, and subscribe if you haven't done it already. This is Sumita Roy's English Classroom, and I'm Professor Sumita Roy. Let us begin with the phrases and then examples of each of them. Let us talk about the first phrase first. There are 5 of them and I'll give you examples for each of them. I really appreciate your... Now you can add whatever you want. Suppose you want to appreciate that person for the work which that person is doing. So you can say, I really appreciate your presentation of this project. I really appreciate the way you have cleaned up all the files from the computer. I really appreciate the way you help people in the colony. I really appreciate your ability to devote time to very important jobs in the colony. So if it is your neighbor, if it is your colleague, if it is a member of your family or your relative, you can use this phrase. Small talk is something where you want to carry the conversation forward. So somebody is telling you that there was no electricity, then I called the electrician and I got the generator repaired. Immediately you can say that I really appreciate your efforts. You have done a great job. That person feels encouraged and says, everybody was having a problem and I had to do it, therefore I took the lead. That one word, I really appreciate your effort or your hard work, gets you a lot of response from that person. You are practicing this and then you can continue to carry out the conversation using all the hints of how to carry out a conversation, how to start a conversation, as I have already posted in different videos. You have to search for that video, or in the comment box you say that I want this video which you have referred to. Then I shall, the link will be sent to you of that video which I'm referring to. Sometimes a series of videos. There are playlists and podcasts for you to watch. So this point is very important in small talk, and that is appreciating somebody. You can change it slightly by saying that I admire. Instead of saying I really appreciate, you can say I really admire the way you handled the situation. There was a crisis, you handled it very well. So you say, I really admire the way you handled the crisis. Then that person will obviously tell you what was the crisis and how that was handled. Periodically, you need to ask 1 or 2 questions, and then the conversation becomes a small talk and you have practiced your English. So that is the first one which I wanted to give you. Now let us come to the second one. Suppose somebody is talking to you, somebody is discussing, a scientific discovery or a difficult job, an exciting travel or adventure. Then you can say, sounds interesting, please tell me more. Encouraging a conversation. That encouragement will get you many details. And when the other person is giving you the details, you are getting to practice because you are listening to that person, you are absorbing the ideas, and you are asking some relevant questions. This also I've told you many times, that whenever you listen, asking questions is a very important way of developing your English. So when you say, really sounds interesting, very interesting, what you've been saying is very interesting. I would like to know some more. Could you tell me some more? Or please tell me some more. This is a point in small talk which is very beneficial because it takes the talk forward. In small talk, we want to have a discussion on nothing, that is very, very earth-shattering. You are not having a debate or you are not discussing something like that. You are just, as the title itself says, small talk. A simple conversation, a few exchanges. So in these few exchanges, if you insert these phrases, then it becomes much better. Your English improves immensely when you know how to use these phrases. Now we come to the third one. Somebody is telling you about the way in which they started a business. That I started this business and it is going very well. I did not know that I would get so much, so many customers or so much business. Then you say, I always wanted to start a business, but I was scared. Now I will take some pointers from you. So I always wanted to is a very interesting phrase for small talk, because if you use it in small talk, then it also tells the other person that you're not only appreciating what that person is doing, but you would also like some advice. You would like to learn. Suppose somebody says that every morning I go for a walk or I do yoga and exercises. Then you are very busy. You say, I've always wanted to do yoga in the morning, but I could not find time. Now I will learn from you and start doing it. Soon we will have the yoga day where everybody does yoga on that one day, but we might not do it regularly. So you can talk about such things. When you talk about these things, what happens is that you are practicing your English and you are improving it. Practicing English does not mean you have to speak all the time. Practicing implies you speak and you allow the other person to speak. That other person speaks and then you respond. You ask a question or you make a comment. You say that these are the postures of yoga. Then that person, the one who says, I always wanted to do yoga, says, I cannot do those things. I think my body is not flexible. Then the other person says that, no, it isn't like that. You have to practice every day. For the first few days, it's difficult. Just like English, first few days, it's very difficult. But as you keep practicing, if you follow whatever I'm saying, then you practice it accordingly, those steps will help you. Somebody says that I want to talk to you. By talking to me on the telephone for 1 minute, you cannot learn English. Please understand. It is very, very wrong to say that you will be able to learn English in 1 minute or maybe 5 minutes. The only way you learn is when you practice in a real life situation. Find these situations and practice. Don't worry about mistakes. Again and again, I have to remind you, don't worry about mistakes. Speak as much as you can, but speak out your ideas, keeping these phrases in mind. Now let us move on to the fourth one. Suppose somebody is talking about a very important topic, elections for instance, or cleanliness in the complex or in the colony, or the rain, the excessive rain which we have, or global warming, which is, causing a lot of climate changes. This, suppose somebody is saying, another person is objecting to it by saying, this is not like this. Then you can interrupt by saying, shall we discuss this some more? Shall we discuss, instead of fighting, instead of arguing, instead of saying whatever I believe is correct, shall we discuss it some more? This is a very interesting small talk phrase, especially when you find that two or more people are, saying exactly the opposite of what the other person is saying. If you find that such a thing is happening, then what you can easily do is you can certainly tell them that, shall we discuss this some more? Then you discuss the pros and cons. Pros and cons is, the advantages and the disadvantages. That is a phrase you can remember. Pros and cons. P-R-O-S and C-O-N-S. That means the good and the bad, the accepted and the non-accepted, the advantage and the disadvantage. So shall we discuss the pros and cons? Shall we discuss this some more? Then you bring a new perspective into the conversation. So the person will ask you, what shall we discuss? Or how shall we discuss it? Who will discuss this? All these questions will come. The small talk goes ahead. That is our idea. Our idea is to insert the phrase so that the small talk continues, so that we carry the conversation forward. Small talk is a conversation. It is not a small speech. It is a conversation. So this small talk becomes very interesting, especially when you meet for a social gathering. Somebody might be arguing with somebody. Somebody might be saying, I know best. Then for such a person, it is very tactful for you to say that, shall we discuss this some more? This is a very, very important phrase. Now we come to the last one. And that is a phrase you might want to use very often, because if you use it very often, then you find that people think you are a helpful person. Is there anything I can do to help? This is a phrase which is used very often by people who are helpful, people who like to serve others, people who are unselfish, people who want to do good to a person who's in trouble. So you find that somebody is struggling with some work. Your neighbor is mending a fence. You find from the morning the neighbor is struggling. You go and say, oh, you're mending your fence. What happened? And so on. Then you say, is there anything I can do to help you? Then the conversation goes forward. That person says, yes, you could do this. Or no, I don't think we need two people. But if you stand with me and talk to me, I'll be very happy. The work gets done easily if we keep talking to each other. Suppose you find that somebody is hurt on the way. Instead of trying to just stand there and, wait in the crowd, a huge crowd of people, you go ahead and say, is there anything I can do to help you? That person might give you the phone and say, please call my family, son or daughter or husband or wife, and tell them I'm here. Tell somebody to come and help me. So you are helping. You see, one phrase has got you this response. Now you call up that person, you talk to that person. You are getting chances to improve your English by using the small talk phrases. These small talk phrases can be framed into small conversations by you. Today, I have not given you any conversation piece. I have not given you any exercise. I have just given you a simple example or two for each of the 5 phrases. Now, if you take these 5 phrases, sit down and write for each of the phrases, you write a dialogue of about 5 or 6 exchanges using one of the exchanges as this phrase. Then you are getting to practice. Very often what happens is that you might not have anybody to practice with. I saw in the comment box somebody is saying, please practice with me, please practice with me. There is a danger in practicing with others because that person gets all the chance and you don't get a chance. That is one danger. The other danger is you only carry the burden, that person doesn't do anything. So there is an imbalance in sharing like this. Sharing, of course, is wonderful if both of you know each other well and both of you are trying to help each other. If you have a good community, if you have a good group where you are able to practice, then it is nothing like it, online or face to face. Even if you have an online conversation, that is fine. You can attend an online meeting and speak. If there are 10 people in the meeting, all 10 speak. You listen to 9 others and then you speak. Obviously, you are improving. So when you do all this, you improve. But if you just listen and not practice, then no improvement comes to you. Therefore, sit down and think about these 5 phrases. Try to frame some sentences. Try to think of some contexts. You took your child and went to the school. Then you found that another child nobody had come to take from school. So you try to call that child's parents and say, is there anything I can do to help? Then they will say, yes, could you pick up my child and drop at my workplace or at my house? In this way, you are practicing. You have thought of a context. You have thought of some situation where you are going to fix these phrases. In this way, if you practice, that will be very beneficial. Because if you do not practice, then it doesn't benefit you. The more chances you get for small talk, the better it is. Suppose you go out of your house in the morning, you find somebody is walking along the path where you're walking. You don't know that person. First day you smile at each other. Second day you say hello. Third day you might stop and say that, how are things with you? Again, small talk phrase. So that person says, oh, I have a problem that the doctor has said I have to walk every day. Then you say, what is the problem? Can you tell me more about this? All small talk phrases. You don't know that person. You are meeting them only while you go for a walk. If you try in this way, you find that your English is improving. The ultimate aim is to improve the language. If we do this, it improves. So keep the small talk phrases in mind and practice them as much as you can. Not individually, but in the frame of a small talk.